being locked in. A state of unshakable focus where distractions vanish and your mind moves like a weapon towards one goal. It's the holy grail of high performance. My problem, and your problem if you're watching this video, we can't stay locked in for shit. And so I studied everyone who's mastered this state, and here's what I found. They all share a specific psychological framework that has nothing to do with discipline. It takes very little effort to implement into your life today. In this video, I will teach you exactly what that psychological framework is and how to implement it into your life. Enjoy. Let me ask you something. What do you think are the two most consistent predictors of success? You may say confidence, stability, fortune, where and to who you were born, natural IQ. Maybe you'll say self-belief. Maybe you say emotional consistency. Maybe you say having no self-doubt, having no insecurity. Maybe you would even say work ethic. All of those things sound reasonable, and they're all wrong. Because the two biggest predictors of success in ultra high achievers are actually pride and insecurity. You may think, whoa, hold up. GB, let's stop for a second. I'm not a dimbus. These two things are complete polar opposites. If I have one, I cannot have the other, right? They don't cooperate in any way. But researchers who've studied some of the most successful people on the planet, Trump, who went from a realtor to the literal president of the United States, or Elon Musk, the richest man ever, Steve Jobs, who built the iPhone. All of these guys who, whether you like them or not, have achieved things that most people, and me and you, certainly will never be able to even comprehend, let alone achieve. They all share these exact same traits: a burning insecurity and a burning pride simultaneously. One of my favorite examples, as someone that grew up watching basketball, is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was one of the most dominant athletes ever. I don't care what you LeBron dick suckers say. But he was also famously insecure, right? He took everything personally. Every slight, every doubt, every criticism, everything was taken personally and turned into fuel. But he also was an incredibly confident and borderline proud person, right? Kobe Bryant was the exact same. And here's the funny thing. I see this in myself. Listen, I'm a terribly insecure person in reality. Anyone that really knows me, you can ask my best friend. I will maybe get him to vouch for me himself, but I am a terribly insecure person. Not in the I need external validation sense, but in the sense that I genuinely think I am a terrible person. Look, I'll open up with you real quick. I've hurt a lot of people. I've hurt a lot of women. That shame, that insecurity, funnily enough, is what led me to make this channel. It's what led me to get married at 19. It's what drives me to try to help men everywhere I go, because I'm trying to make up for who I was. But at the same time, and again, you can ask anyone that knows me, I have a burning self-belief, and I believe that God has put me here for a genuinely important reason. Those two things, as contradicting and conflicting as they are, they fuel me. They breed who I am, and they energize everything I do. And another thing I notice about these people is that they have something that I call cathedral thinking. Back in medieval times, stonemasons would begin constructing massive cathedrals knowing they would never live to see the spires completed. Some of them took 200, 300 years to finish. They would span multiple generations of craftsmen. Cathedral thinking captures this exact mindset. Hence, it was given that name. It's the willingness to dedicate yourself to work that extends far beyond your own lifetime. Planting seeds for trees whose shade you will never enjoy. What's fascinating to me about this stuff is how radically it contradicts our modern world of instant gratification. It asks us to measure success not in years, but in centuries we literally won't even be alive in. To find meaning not in completion, but in contribution to something immortal. It's essentially the antidote to short-term thinking. And anyone who's ever been locked in always thinks like this. When Elon Musk talks about colonizing Mars, I promise you he is not thinking about next quarter's revenue. He's thinking about 2050. He's thinking about a time in the world when he might not even be alive. When Trump built his empire, he was not obsessing over one deal. He was trying to build a legacy, a brand, a name that would allow him to do anything and echo through generation. And you know, now he's president of the United fucking States. Proverbs 29:18 says, and this is one of my favorite Bible passages, that when there is no vision, the people perish. The vision, not a goal, not a plan, a vision, something far out that pulls you forward even when everything is falling apart. And the last thing, the third thing that I want to end this video off with, in my opinion, the most important thing. People that are locked in very rarely perceive any risk. Trump got fucking destroyed in the 80s if you've heard that story. Alex Ramosi, a more modern example, used all of his life savings and failed 3 times and lost everything 3 times just to a couple months ago in August, sell $150 million worth of his book and expertise. These people, they're not afraid of failing. And if you were to think back to any time in your life that you've been locked in on anything, you weren't afraid of failure. When I was truly locked in on YouTube, that couple month stretch where I got most of my 750 subscribers, there was never such thing as a loss. It was either an instant win or a lesson with a delayed bigger win. That's all it was to me. Every time that I relearn and I teach myself to see risk this way, I become fucking unstoppable because I have nothing to be afraid of anymore. When I don't perceive risk, all I care about is that big purpose that we talked about earlier, that cathedral vision, right? I have this one purpose, this one vision, and I care nothing at all about what risk I have to take to achieve it. If that doesn't sound locked into you, what the fuck is? Brother, being locked in is not a random state of life that you get into if you just get lucky draw of the day. It is a psychology. It's a mindset. It's a way of life. And once you step into that psychology, you don't get locked in for a day or two. You live there permanently, forever, like all the guys you look up to today.